Stay strong, stay strong.
To the table. Ain't easy, I can tell.
Gotta stay strong, stay strong. Stay strong, stay strong.
Ain't easy, I can tell.
Gotta stay strong, stay strong.
Here in Kyiv, Ukraine, at the request of President Biden, to reaffirm to Ukraine's leaders and to its people the strong support of the United States for its sovereignty, its territorial integrity, its independence, its future as a Euro-democratic country. So I had an opportunity in my conversations with President Zelensky, Foreign Minister Kuleba, and others to talk about this week of intense diplomacy that we've engaged in, both directly with Russia through something we call the Strategic Stability Talks, to the NATO-Russia Council, to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, all designed to see if we can find a diplomatic path forward. That's the path that we've offered to Russia. Conversely, if Russia chooses to pursue aggression, we've made clear that there will be severe consequences for that choice. Because not only are we committed to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, we're committed to some basic principles that are at the heart of the international system and are absolutely vital to keeping peace and security, not just in Europe, but around the world. My strong hope is that Russia will choose dialogue and diplomacy. That's by far the preferable course. It's the most responsible one. But if it doesn't, we're equally prepared to deal with aggression and to impose the consequences that will flow from that. Throughout, we've been very clear on some very basic principles. Nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, nothing about Europe without Europe, and a determination that we will stand together in defense of principles that are so important to the peace and security of our world.
This is the entire choir. You just saw representatives from every faction in Washington, from Adam Schiff to Dan Crenshaw, not as different as they seem, and all the dummies in between. And all of them are promoting war against Russia on behalf of our new and deeply beloved ally, the government of Ukraine. Vladimir Putin is our most dangerous enemy, they scream. We can't let him hurt Ukraine. So it turns out Russiagate was actually more effective even than we'd realized. The Steele dossier has been debunked, but in Washington, the theme remains in force. Russia, 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 Russia is bad. What is this about exactly? Well, obviously it's the usual collection of children falling for the usual collection of lies, but why this specific lie? On Tuesday, we tried to get to the bottom of this because it seems like it matters. We spoke to a man called Clint Ehrlich. As Ehrlich pointed out, there are a lot of factors here driving us toward war over Ukraine, but one of them, a central one, is NATO. So what is NATO, and what is the purpose of NATO since the fall of the Soviet Union 30 years ago that NATO was designed as a bulwark against? Well, no one can answer that question, not one person. And yet the same people who cooked up the Iraq War are now insisting that Ukraine must join NATO anyway. That would mean putting American military hardware right on Russia's border, and Russia doesn't want that any more than we would want Russian missiles in Tijuana, hence the tension. Now the irony, as Clint Ehrlich pointed out, is that NATO doesn't even want Ukraine to join. In other words, the whole thing is nuts. It serves no American interest whatsoever. It is yet another manufactured crisis, this one devised by restless, power-hungry neocons in Washington looking for another war.